We are on day 2 of your evolved human creature, so you should have both sides transferred at this point. Make sure that you are going back and darkening your ghost side transfer so that you have equal value dark on both sides. Okay, after you have done that, the next thing to do is we are going to go in with your value pencil pack. So get those out from the drawer and you are going to begin to add texture first, and then we are going to go in and add a color emphasis. So think of different types of texture you might want to use. Is your creature made of fur? Is your creature scaly? So what you want to do is spend some time today working on just the texture area. So one of the first ways and easiest ways to make texture is I'm going to take a pencil and I'm going to put down a ground or a base tone of gray on all of the parts where the skin would be exposed. Since my creature has some different features such as a hat and everything, I'm not going to worry about putting any skin tone there because it's a different surface area. Okay, so I'm going to try and go for a nice medium to light gray as I tone any skin tone areas. Remember, you want to have contrast here, so try and consider leaving some areas white while making other areas gray, while making other areas dark, so you can see all of the features of your creature. Okay, once you have toned the area, you're going to take a blending stump and you are going to smooth that out to get a nice ground. So your goal is to have a nice solid tone. Okay, so now I have a nice kind of gray area for his skin tone. All right, next thing I'm going to do then is create a line that is going to create a texture. For example, maybe a U shape to create scales, maybe circular shape to create bumps, maybe diagonal line marks to make fur. I'm going to go ahead and go in there with a scale texture. And since I put this nice light gray down, I can now go right over top of it. I'm using my 6B pencil, and I can add the texture on top of that toned gray area. I'm checking both sides to try and make sure I apply the pattern in a similar way. Okay. This helps us to see all the different parts of the face. Okay, once you have toned the skin area, consider other textures you could use. For example, I have this sort of mustache looking kind of shape down here, so I think that would be interesting to follow the edges there and put down a nice line that mimics the curve of the shape. You want to darken right here around the creature's mouth to kind of help that to pop forward. Be careful because since it is paper we've cut out, it is a little thinner around the neck, so you got to try and be gentle as you're working on this. Okay, I'm going to continue adding value, maybe shading in the shirt a little bit. And building up a nice dark gray there. Okay. Make sure that everything you color in is solid. If it looks streaky or scribbly, you're going to need to go back and improve that so that it looks well shaded and it looks like you have spent time on it to get a nice solid value. I'm going to go ahead and add a little more shadow to his hat here so it looks like it's draping over top of his forehead. Okay, so continuing, I would add a little bit more maybe here to the pockets. I would definitely do some fun dark value behind these gears here so that they look like they're on the inside of the mouth. And that would be a great place to use your 6B value pencil to get some nice shadow. Okay, so I'll work on that a little bit more outside of the video. Once you have shaded everything and you have at least 4 values, Okay, so I can clearly see I have a medium, I have a dark, I have a light, and I also have like a dark gray. You guys need to pick at least one color you would like to use, and you may use its neighbor or analogous color. So you look at your color wheel. If I pick green, it is neighbor to yellow and blue. So those are the colors I can use to kind of add to interest to my creature, okay? So if you were to pick orange, for example, then your colors that you would be able to work with would be what's on either side of orange, which would be yellow and red, okay? You pick one color and then you also use its neighbor colors. So I would just kind of think of what are some things I'd like to emphasize with these colors. Obviously I have a lot of pencil value down, so you don't want to try and color in areas that are toned. You're going to end up getting kind of like a muddly gray there. What I want to color in is areas that are still white, and that will kind of help my colors to not get muddy. Okay, so I want to add some interesting emphasis to the eyes there. I'm going to use yellow and green to get these eyes sort of piercing out. Okay, anything else that is pure white is kind of what I'm going to focus on there. Let's see, how about kind of add a little bit of a blue. I don't want to do too much color. You want it to just kind of add a little emphasis at one area. Eyes are a very common thing to emphasize in an artwork. Other places you might want to emphasize would be like an accessory or something that goes along with that. Maybe like the hat would be a good place. I think I might color the hat blue actually. I think that would be kind of a nice add-on here. Again, you need to color places that you've kind of left white though, because otherwise you'll end up muddying your color. And we don't want to use a lot of color. We're just kind of doing a little emphasis of something that we think is important, leaving the rest of our creature in grayscale, which helps us to have a nice consistency and not be overwhelmed by a huge amount of colors and then we lose the detail in your drawing. People tend to want to color everything, but your colors have more of a presence and strength when there's less of them. Okay, so go ahead and work on that for the rest of the day. Thank you.